look at, they're making a new little dam with our stakes. Wah, wah. Every one of those like brighter, newer looking sticks planted last week. All of these. The whole stake would have been covered with bark. The beaver got it, ate most of the bark, kind of like corn on the cob. So this project is a restoration project where the restoration planting, this looks intact, that's good. And the goal for that replanting is trying to keep water cool for salmon. Look at this. I don't know why they didn't eat it, but they'd cut it. They'd cut this. It's more like cleaned bones. Aren't you full yet?
The beavers have definitely been very busy at this site. We have been staging bundles. They've managed to get under the fencing that we've wrapped around those and pull stakes out.
It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. We've got some very, very hungry beavers here. So that's a beaver cut tree from, I think, a couple years ago. Here's one from just, what was that, this last winter. I'm Jen Vanderhoof. I'm a senior ecologist in the science section for King County. There we go. I have worked on a variety of things related to wildlife for almost 25 years. But recently, it's all things beavers. We're seeing things we've just never seen or had to deal with before at all. All of a sudden, their populations are coming back with a vengeance. And now, I just tell people if there's water and there's food, there's going to be beavers. And because so much of our work interfaces with water, as soon as you plant, they're going to show up and start eating what you planted. We're standing here at Chinook Bend, but we are creating habitat for salmon recovery all over King County. They typically include planting vegetation along the water so that we can get shade. We've carved new channels. We add large wood. It spreads the water out, increasing the complexity of the stream systems, creating pools and eddies. And you open up entire new spawning areas for fish that way. But a lot of the work that we do, we are trying to emulate the work of beavers, and we've been doing that without even realizing it for a long time. What we're looking at more and more is doing less and less, and letting the beavers do more and more. So we have this restoration site along Bear Creek. It's about 50 acres, and it's a single thread channel. You've got this curvy channel, but it's not moving, it's not shifting, there's nothing dynamic about it.
We want to do like a big reset and allow this to become really healthy. We planted and then kind of paused because we wanted to like not rush into a project. We're like, wow, beavers are moving in. Like see what the beavers are going to do and see if we can like work with them or encourage them. And so that's what we're looking for today.
Here you go, Brandon. It's flowing out here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and there's water flowing here too.
Oh goodness, look at this. This is a lot. This is a ton of water.
Oh yeah, here's the other one. They just start as trails as the beavers walk back and forth. And this has gotten deeper, and now the flow is away from the creek. They've created all of this. They're not just a tree cutter, they're an earth mover.
And all of a sudden the water is interacting with that floodplain. It gives salmon slower moving water to escape to.
I saw with my own eyes adult Chinook salmon in this flowing channel.
Beavers are cheaper. They're part of the natural ecosystem. They don't have to get like permits. I had no idea how awesome this day was going to be. I'm going to have to go home right now and then come back another day to all contain all this.
Beavers are very, very well documented to provide a huge array of benefits that we really need. At their very most basic, beavers store water. They build dams. Think of them sort of as speed bumps in the stream. Hits them, it slows everything down, slows everything down, slows everything down. They're basically water filters, collecting pollutants. That water that is stored on the surface starts to percolate down to the groundwater. So it increases groundwater storage and often will resurface in our streams colder, cooling stream temperatures, which is good. Salmon need colder water. And we know that beaver ponds increase biodiversity. It's like we realize now how beneficial they are and all the great things that they can do and provide, but they also provide challenges. You want to get a site to the point where the biomass that's produced every year exceeds what is eaten by the beavers. It's a simple equation, right? And now you've got a sustainable ecosystem with beavers. That's what we're working on out here.
The beaver resistance is here, but we're on the ground, digging in the dirt, getting those plants in the ground.
We had an opportunity to work alongside Sound Salmon Solutions and turn a pretty standard planting plan into an experiment with 4 different approaches to planting to create as much shade and survival as possible.
The first one is the tall stake plot.
This is like the typical way of planting. Standard 6-foot stakes, pretty evenly spaced out. Now they will send out roots and eventually little shoots and branches.
Some early results over at a different site did suggest that they were going for the tall stakes more.
Maybe it's not worth it for a beaver to take that short stake.
Even though I think it makes logical sense that if you fence something, it will be more protected, we'll need to see it.
And then the 4th plot type is the fascine plots, which are essentially bundles. You just put them in the ground, cover them in dirt.
But it gives a lot of time for roots and shoots to really develop and grow before they are of interest to beaver.
These places that look pretty desolate right now, I want to see thick, thick, thick vegetation growing up to the point where you wouldn't even notice if beavers are cutting. That's my dream. That's my dream. We're going to learn a lot in the coming months. We removed this animal who's responsible for shaping vegetation communities, shaping stream systems, creating habitat.
Get back in there, old girl. That's better.
Then we started moving beavers around to increase their population numbers.
There's room here for a new home.
We've gone from tolerating them at best to, oh yeah, they provide some benefits, to they provide benefits, period. We need them, period. How can we do whatever it is that we're going to do in a way that will enable beavers to do their best work? Because they do it better than we'll ever do it.